Coming up on Two Bid SoCon, Rylan Jones joins us as the first ever guest on the show. We talked to him about his move from Utah to Samford, the incredible run the Bulldogs made last year, his amazing return to Salt Lake City in March Madness, his love of golf, and his eventual statue outside of the Pete Hanna Center. All that and more after a word from our sponsor. Two Bid SoCon is brought to you by The Ben Burnett Show. Sports, politics, anything else you're looking for. Weekends on Extra 106.3 in Atlanta or wherever else you get your podcasts. All right, everybody, we are here now, joined by Samford point guard Rylan Jones, currently sitting at 13th in the country with a 4.25 assist-to-turnover ratio. He is the orchestrator of Bucky Ball. Rylan, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well. Hope you guys are doing good and enjoying the holiday season.
We're doing all right.
Oh, yeah.
I want to start with this question here. I want to ask, let me see if I can pull it up here. Having some technical difficulties.
Holy. You're selling.
All right, here we go. Jill.
Mine was too
I
big.
want to ask about this picture here, Rylan. Can you see this?
I can't see that.
This was not your idea, correct?
It was definitely not my idea.
This was Jermaine's idea, I assume?
I would probably say it was probably Jermaine's idea, yes, and the chore followed. And then I think I got dragged along with him.
I wanted to ask, you seemed reluctant to join. Were you unfamiliar with the show, or were you just like, I don't care about those guys?
Those two. I was just gonna let those two, do what they do. They're a man of the people. So I was gonna let them just, have fun and do what they were doing. I was gonna be in the background, but they weren't gonna allow that to happen.
That was by far the funniest moment of the year.
No, that was great. That was hilarious. And they just started off, all the hate or whatever they were saying. And guys don't believe in us. No, that was great. Those two are hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Awesome.
The backstory. I don't know if you're even familiar with it. Was y'all's media team made a hype video and put a video of me talking about I don't even, what was it, Matt? Y'all played.
It was.
I'm sure you're aware that your schedule last year to start the year was some bad teams. Y'all played some.
Yeah, we had all home. We basically had all home games, and a couple of the teams were not very good. Yeah.
So it was on the road at Purdue, and then it was the worst teams you've ever heard of in your life.
At Purdue, at VCU, and then I think we played.
Oh yeah, that one too.
10 or 11 straight home games.
Yeah, and I made a smart comment or something because I don't even know, but it wasn't that it wasn't anything ridiculous, and it was talking about proving the haters wrong, and it plays
the clip was from episode 2, and Jack said something along the lines of talking about the Purdue game, I don't know why you guys thought you were gonna win that game, or sorry if you convinced yourself you were gonna win that one. And then he was and then they followed it up by playing some of the worst basketball teams I've ever seen in my life. And they clipped that 12 weeks later, just right before Asheville, and it was so funny.
Was it on Twitter? I need to see this clip.
Yeah, it was on
man.
Twitter.
It was
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I think we put it on our. I know it was on Instagram. I remember the video now. But I do remember the video. But that was funny.
I'm pretty sure I talked good about y'all. I just was they probably weren't beating Zach Edey. That's one of the greatest college basketball players ever.
I don't think anybody was beating them that night.
No, absolutely not.
They didn't miss, yeah.
So that was the Dallas Graziani tip night, wasn't it?
That was That's
awesome.
Graziani tip night.
I did make a smart comment there. I was shout out for the cool tip or something.
Yeah.
I think I was just on.
I remember seeing the Bucky clip leading up to that, and he was "This is Dallas Graziani. He's 5'6". It's this is Zach Edey. He's 7'4". That was
funny. That
was awesome.
That was a funny 2 weeks. We were making all these videos before practice and everything. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. Let me ask
And
about
Jack, you made it.
last year's team. Since we're on that topic, what made last year's team so special? Was it the style of play? Was it the players? Was it the camaraderie? Was it everything? Just talk about last year.
Yeah, I think you could put all. I think you could say all three of those right there. A lot of those guys have been there for 3 years. And they've been through. They've been through a lot. They've been through with Bucky for 3 years, and then you added a couple new guys. Me, Garrett, Dallas, I think, and a couple of the freshmen, and we just all we all bought in, and we all just wanted to win. So bad that like that's really all we cared about, and we just had a connection that just kind of clicked from the summer, and credit to everybody just buying in and wanting to do it for each other, and doing it for Samford. And it was just a unique, it was a unique team, and a unique, we had a unique chemistry that allowed us to play the way we played, and not care who scored, who was in the game at the end of the game, who started. We just wanted to win, and that's what made last year's team really special.
so you talk about getting guys to buy in. This summer, you being the only returning starter, getting guys like Colin Holloway and Trey Fort and Isaiah West and obviously your guy Jaden Brownell. I know you were involved in his process, but how involved are you in recruiting guys this summer?
I was pretty involved, and it was kind of a weird. It was a weird involvement because I wasn't even sure if I was gonna be back here when we were talking to these guys in the portal, right? But then when we all got here in the summer, it's just, and it starts with Bucky. He's great at getting people to believe into, his style, and if the way you play Bucky ball, like playing 20 minutes is like playing 28 minutes, possession wise, right? Mm-hmm. And so if people can really wrap their mind around that, it's a lot of fun, which makes it really enjoyable to play because you want to have fun, and that's what I try to tell the new guys is it's a fun style, and like it's gonna be hard the first. I mean, it's still hard right now. We're still all getting used to it. Those new guys that have never done it before. But I tell them when it clicks, it's fun, and we're gonna have a good time, and we're all gonna have our nights where you're the guy, and you're gonna have 18 to 22 points and make some big shots or get a big steal. Like we've had some of those games, this year already, where some guys have made huge plays defensively and other guys made huge plays offensively. And that was kind of my job, this summer, is just to get everybody to buy into how hard you have to play. And if you do buy into how hard you have to play, we will have a lot of fun doing it. And our practices are fun, and our games are fun. And I think everybody believes that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask because you guys seem it's still early in the year, and you said that not everybody's clicked yet, but you guys are off to a great start at 9-2, and so when I watch you guys' games, it's sort of similar to last year, but it's a very different roster. So do you find that the mindset's sort of similar, even though completely different roster almost, but also still averaging 90 points a game, still playing Bucky ball, 10 to 12 guys pressing. So like, what's been different about that, but also similar, I guess?
The difference is last year's team had like 8 guys that had done it before. And this year's difference is really it's me and the 3 freshmen, right, that had done it. And so I feel like that's kind of that was been the biggest difference is you had guys that had done it for 3 years, and now you got guys that have done it for 4 months. And the press is it's a unique it's unique, and it's a feel, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I think that's why Samford, since Bucky's been here, has gotten better throughout the year, is because it's hard to get used to it, and you got to read and feel, and just keep learning every day in practice, and that's what we've been doing, and we're gonna keep on learning.
Absolutely.
What is the Bucky McMillan sales pitch to guards? Because this offseason, I was shocked, especially with you coming back, how many guards y'all had in the portal, or that y'all got in the portal, and you retained all of you guys. Tell me what that sales pitch is like. And I feel like part of it is what you've already said, but expand upon it.
Yeah, I mean it's the fun style of basketball. Uh, as long as you make the right decision, 99% of the time, Bucky's not really going to get too mad at you on offense. He really cares about the press and the defense. But as long as you make the right play, you're going to have a lot of freedom, to make reads, get attack the paint, shoot the shots you want to shoot. As long as they're the right shots and you make the right plays, like he's going to give you the freedom. He's not going to like say you can't do this or you can only do this on offense. And the press makes offense easier, and steals. Who doesn't want to try to get steals and get easy buckets, right? Or trap and get the crowd going. Like it's fun, and I think that's the play style. I think that's the pitch. Is the style of basketball is fun, and you're gonna have a lot of freedom while doing it as long as you play basically really, really, really hard. He's gonna let you have the freedom, and it's a fun style of basketball. I mean, you would have told me, 5 years ago that I'd be pressing and picking up full court on makes and misses. I'd have thought you were crazy, and it's really, really fun. And wish I did it sooner.
What was your? Sorry, keep going.
No, go
I
ahead.
didn't cut you off.
You're good.
What was your introduction to buckyball? Because I'm sure he even filled you in on it on the recruiting trail, but that first practice when you're really getting after it and things like that. What was that like?
No, it's crazy. Like it's like you can like watch it in film. Like he showed us some. I'm sure like he shows guys the film of the press. When we're recruiting them, but it's completely different watching on film. And you get down in practice, and he's yelling at you to clock up after a rebound. When you're a guard, you're usually used to running back, but he wants you to crash and then right there, try to go trap somebody as fast as possible. And if you don't do that, he's you're on the line for not going to trap. So it's just a unique. It's a unique style, and it took me a while to get used to it. And eventually, is you just got to learn to play really hard and go trap and make reads that aren't that you don't you normal style of basketball teams don't really do.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. I mean, I feel like I keep saying it's fun. That's really what it is. It's really fun to play this way, and I feel like people that come they would agree with it. It's fun, and that's his pitch to a lot of the guards. I would say is it's a really fun style of basketball, and we want to score a lot of points. I mean, he gets mad if we don't score 100. He wants to score 100 every time, and it's that's a good thing. Your coach is telling you want to score more, right? Some coaches want to play in the 60s. He'd want it to be 110 to 104, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a fun style.
Yeah, I have to say. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
Giving
Jack.
me flashbacks to like 8th grade AAU at 7 a.m. Some team way more athletic than you, just dominating.
100%.
I was going to say, I get tired watching you guys when I'm sitting on my couch, so I can't imagine actually playing that. I'm sitting here like sweating, just you guys running up and down. But also, I was going to ask, you brought up defense, and of course it's fun getting steals and stuff, which is something you've been good at in your career. And I was curious, out of not even just your career at Samford, but at Utah and Utah State, was there a particular team or a player who you just hated guarding, or it was a hard time trying to get steals? Anyone come to mind?
Yeah, probably Steven Ashworth. He's at Creighton now. We were,
Nice.
he's one of my best friends, and he's an unbelievable shooter, and he never stops moving. He's like Steph Curry, and so it was awful.
Oh, okay.
We would guard each other in practice every day, and he passes it and runs around crazy, and he's obviously a really good ball handler. So it was probably impossible to get steals from him because the ball was never in his hands for that long either. He was shooting it or passing it. So he's probably the one.
Nice.
You got one?
I want to go back kind of to that Kansas moment. Obviously it was a full circle moment for you in your career, and you guys are down 22, and eventually the whole crowd is behind you in your hometown and chanting "Let's go Samford," and take me through that moment and what that meant for you.
Yeah, I mean that's probably going to be the highlight of my life and my basketball career. That will be number one, and nothing will probably ever pass that. Going back home, I lived in Utah for 23 years basically. Played 100 college basketball games there and probably 1,000 other basketball games. in the state of Utah, and to come out here to Birmingham in the South, and then get to go play in the NCAA tournament back home in the Delta Center, where I worked NCAA tournaments and sat courtside for some of those games. It was just a feeling that is it was so cool. And when we made that comeback and the whole place is chanting, let's go Samford. You could just feel the energy, like even all my teammates, they had no business, they'd never been to Utah before, but they could just feel like the love that they had for us to win that game. And a lot of it was a lot of Utah people, and they were just rooting for us and pulling for us, and that was a feeling in the second half that is the number one memory that I'll ever have playing basketball. Even though we lost, which is crazy as it sounds, but that that 10 minutes or whatever that last 11 minutes was crazy, and probably the coolest moment that I'll ever be a part of.
Yeah. How many people did you have at that game?
I think I gave out 62 tickets.
Wow.
And then that's not even my mom and dad and I, we kind of made like a list of like family members and people that were really important to us. They got to see that game, and then then that's not even the people that bought tickets or already had tickets that were friends and family and just followers of people who followed me throughout my career, and it was just it was super cool, and giving out 62 tickets and seeing them all after the game, even though a loss, it was just super cool. And just I mean, not very many people can say that they got to play the NCAA tournament in their hometown and make a 20-point comeback against Kansas.
Yeah.
And have a crappy call.
Yeah.
Good. I was waiting for you. I needed.
I was like, is he?
You had to know we would ask about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I
That
mean,
was sick.
what was your perspective on that?
So when it happened, I was like, all right, he probably fouled them, right? Like, I mean, it just looked bad. And I'm usually the calm guy on that team last year, and those guys never think they foul anybody, right? And AJ, I was like trying to control AJ, and AJ, like, I promise you, with some other words in there, that I did not touch him. Like, I hit all balls. And then when you go back and like, we didn't even make it to the locker room. The security guys right there, as we're walking off the court, they're showing us like the picture that was already out there on Twitter, and like the videos, and like you can just see basically it was all ball, and we didn't even make it back to the locker room, and I just was like, wow, he was really right. Like, he completely blocked it. But it sucked because we had the ball going the other way with an advantage. If he wouldn't have, they wouldn't have called that. But it is what it is, and it looked bad.
It is what it is. I was.
It is what it is.
I was sent several messages. One being from some like burner account fan of the ref saying like, "It is your job to hold this man accountable." What am I gonna do? Like, okay, he sucks.
I remember that.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
That's hilarious.
What do you want me to do about it?
You're a member of the media now. You got to get this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, gotta
I
get
still
him.
have that screenshotted somewhere. It was wild. Tell me about last year, because you very much, whether it be that moment with us after the SoCon tournament or in the game, you were the calming presence. Playing with Jermaine and a chore, I had several. A chore was awesome last year, but several times last year was like, I don't think I've ever seen him shut his mouth during a game. And Jermaine was hurt, so you didn't get to see it as much. Tell me about playing with those guys, because they are great players, but definitely some characters.
Yeah, they're the most competitive people I've ever been around. They just want to win and win at any cost. Whether that talking crap to each other in practice, first of all, trying to get each other going in practice, and then getting on the court, and they're yapping the whole time, and just playing so hard, and they're just such great competitors, is the best way to describe them, and they just wanted to win at all costs. And that was what was so important for our team, and what everybody learned from those two is they would do anything to win, whether it diving through balls, rebounds, blocking shots, all the little things. Jermaine on the ball in the press every time, jumping up and down, just exerting all of his energy. And so, that's the two biggest thing. And they're both, and Jermaine, he's one of the best guys around. Same with the Chore. I mean, they're just, good people and just wanted to win. And they were just so funny. Just people you can't really describe, honestly. Just hard workers
Yeah.
that, love to compete, love to have fun, and, just love to play basketball. And that's what, they're still both playing, and they both probably play for a long time. And they were just unbelievable teammates, and I'm so happy that I got to play, with them for one season.
So
Speaking of
I
that,
heard.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
So I heard that on your visit you got to play top golf with Achor and Jermaine. Is that true?
I did.
Were they as competitive as in a sport that you probably killed them at? I heard you're a
No,
scratch golfer.
once they saw me swing the club the first time, there was nothing else being said. They just said, "Yeah, you can do the whole time," and they watched the Lakers game. They knew they had no chance, and so they shut up real quick.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What about Bucky? Does Bucky think he has a chance when you golf with him?
No.
So where's that come from? Did you grow up a golfer or what?
Yeah, I grew up. My dad loves to play golf, and so I grew up, played high school golf. Just kind of played my whole life, and it's probably my favorite thing to do outside of playing basketball.
Right.
Just fun. All my friends do it. It's just kind of if you guys play golf, I'm sure hang out with your friends 4 hours. Outside having fun. So I just love to play, and I've got pretty good at it.
Are you looking for a tour card next year?
Yeah, I wish. That's what I needed to do. I should have played college golf.
Dude, that's the job, man. That's yeah. Taylor, you had a question?
Oh, I was just speaking to that championship game last year. I'm a two-time rec league champion. Let me just tell you, that felt amazing. And so I can't imagine how it feels to actually like win a meaningful championship. And like, so just, I know it's kind of a general question, but like, what was that feeling like in that moment? And was there like a moment in that game against ETSU where we're like, oh, we just won this, or immediately after?
It was just like, it was so surreal. Like everything that I felt like I'd worked for my whole life, just throughout basketball, and just resiliency and determination, and what we went through as a team in the summer conditioning lift, like everything was all worth it. Like literally made that moment makes it all worth it. I think it was, we kind of got up like 6 or 7. They got a foul, and I think Seymour maybe missed 1 or 2 free throws, and it kind of like just was like, I think there really might not be enough time, and it was just like, oh my, like it's actually gonna happen, and we're gonna go, and the goal that we set, June whatever, May 31st when we got here, like that goal that we set, we accomplished it, and when the buzzer sounded and the confetti comes down, and you're just like, it's just such a cool feeling that everything you worked for, it worked. Like there's no other way to describe it. Just it's a great feeling, and celebrating with your teammates, giving hugs to everybody around that's involved, to managers, to everybody that had put their time into us. The boosters, the fans that came. Like this is such a cool feeling, and a moment that you can share with them that only a certain amount of teams get to do every year, and only a certain amount of players get to do throughout their career. I've been in college for 4 years and never won a conference championship or a conference tournament championship, and some people go, all 4 or 5 years without winning one, and to get one was, just well worth it, and just an amazing feeling that, is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Tell me about, because just right along that, tell me about March Madness, and not necessarily the game, but just the whole experience, because I know that's a thing. What's that like?
Oh yeah, it's just so cool. Selection Sunday is unbelievable. Just the build up for that. Your name's getting called, right? You one of 32 teams that knows your name is getting called. So just that build up to, we did it outside on like a huge video board with, the whole city of Homewood, which was like super cool and unique. That they blocked off the street, and a bunch of people, the community came out, and that was super cool. Then to the the practices leading up to it, it's just a different feel. It's like we're playing in this tournament. The practices are fun. Everybody's got a great energy about it. Then you get the charter trip to wherever you're going. It's just such a cool and like I had been the year before with Utah State, but like I wasn't playing, and so it was kind of just another feeling to be out there. We were playing, and the media and the just everything about it is so cool. The open practice, the arena you get to play in, and then it's just the gear you get. Even the March Madness gear. Everything about it is just so cool. Um, it's just a great week, honestly.
So
Right.
watching Selection Sunday, when it came up Salt Lake City, what was your immediate reaction to that?
Like wow, it actually happened, because
Elation.
there's been talk that it might happen. We didn't know if we were going to be a 12 or 13, but the 4-13 games were in a certain space or whatever, and there you'd seen some media brackets where it was in Salt Lake City or somewhere else. And I was like, man, it'd be really cool to go to Utah. But I was the only one that was saying that. All my teammates wanted to go to like Brooklyn or somewhere else, right? But then when it came to when it was Utah, I was just shocked. Everybody else stood up really fast, and I just sat there like it actually happened. And then I stood up like it was just so crazy that I got to go back home and see all my family and play in front of them again. Just like I said, it was so crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
Let me get your thoughts. This could be general thoughts on the transfer portal. Let me hear the current state of college basketball, the transfer portal, NIL, because you're someone who's benefited from it greatly, obviously, in your career. What are your thoughts on it as a whole? What do you think needs to change? What do you think's been a great thing about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's allowed for opportunities that some people maybe would not have got with just the one-time transfer and the sitting out. For me, it was great. I got a coach got fired at Utah, so I chose to transfer. Then another coach left from Utah State, so it allowed another chance to come out here. It's just getting crazy with if you can go to 4 schools in 4 years. It's kind of like that weird it's kind of hard for me because I've benefited from it, but then I've also seen where people are probably transferring too much and they leave when they really are in a good spot. I really don't have a great answer for you because I don't know if there is a great answer for the world about it right now. I just hope that the people that are close to me and my friends that are in college basketball and that I talk to, they make a decision that's well thought out and they just don't chase money, or they really go into thinking about what is best for their career. That's just kind of what I've told a couple of my friends that still are in, that I've played with and that are contemplating moving on at some points. And so I just hope I hope college basketball doesn't get ruined by a transfer portal because it's great. And I've loved college basketball my whole life, and kind of excited to see what happens, honestly.
Yeah.
And let me ask this too to go along with that.
Yeah.
You don't have to give me personal experiences, stories, but I've heard a lot of kind of evil almost stories of agents and taking advantage of players.
Yeah, I've seen some.
And
Yep.
there's tampering that goes on, but really it's not illegal tampering when it's an agent going to one school and coming to. How
100%.
real are those stories?
I think they're very real. Very real.
Very.
No need to elaborate.
Some of them are
'cause I've
taking
gotten-
like 20%, dude. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's
they're
really
very
wild.
real. And
Very real.
Yeah, if I've heard
My-
that, then
yeah, my advice is for players would be to have somebody that you really, really, really trust, giving you advice that really has your best interest at heart, and hopefully not theirs. That's the best thing you could probably do if you're a player that is thinking about going to the portal.
Who is that for you?
My dad.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Makes sense.
He was a college coach for 25 years in the state of Utah, so he'd been through a lot of it, and and I trust him with it. He's my dad, so, and his advice, and we knew a lot of people in the world, but I listened to him, and he always got me the best interest for me, and I think we made a good decision 2 summers ago. So
for sure.
What made you? What was your deciding factor on Samford after entering the portal? What was it, Bucky? Because that's obviously a long way away from Utah. So
for sure, yeah. I mean, the biggest factor was Bucky. we just connected and just clicked, from phone call number one,
Mhm.
honestly. And at that point, I was kind of considering all types of levels and, roles, you could say, throughout my, what I thought was my last year. Um, and when it all came down to it, I wanted to go someplace to have a chance to win and make it to the NCAA tournament and have a lot of fun doing it. And the coach that believed in me, and Bucky hit all three of those. And it just kind of, once it happened, once we kind of came out here on a visit and made up our mind, it was an easy choice, and I've never second guessed it one time.
Because I mean, you were hearing
Nice.
from like Notre Dame, Gonzaga, like schools like that. So I mean,
Yeah, it was a. Go ahead.
what was your first impression of Bucky, and how could you just tell that connection was so
Yeah,
great?
so the first, it was like right away I was getting kind of blown up, and then I kind of dialed it down. I kind of dialed it down to the places that I thought were best for me, and one of Coach Danny Young, assistant coach of Samford, he just kept calling me, and we finally got on the phone, and he's like, just give us a Zoom call, just give us a Zoom call, just give us a Zoom call, and my dad and I took the Zoom call, and that was I had talked to Bucky on the phone for like 1 minute before that. And just him talk really fast. Hey, good to meet you. I'm Coach McMillan, blah, 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 Samford in Birmingham. And then let's get a Zoom, right? And the Zoom call was really good. They did a great job. And he sold it right away, just, how much he liked my game and how much he thought I could help them be a championship caliber team. And after that, I really liked it. I really liked coaching with them. But then I kind of was caught up in the, go someplace bigger. They didn't want to go that way from home. And as the more and more it went on, the more and more I talked to schools, I kind of was pushing them away, pushing them away, pushing them away. And my dad is the one that kept Samford in my mind. He was always like, hey, what about Samford? Have you called them back? Have you called them back? Or, because I was, really ignoring them or, talking to them every couple of days. And then I kept listening to my dad, and I kept listening to my dad, and we finally went on the visit. And then when we got on the visit out here, and we really got to hang out with them, get to know them, it was kind of a done deal. I came home 3 or 4 days later, called the other coaches, and said I'm going to go to Samford, and I chose to go to Samford.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I wanna, we've talked about the Kansas game and all that, and you chasing another year, or you and Bucky working towards another year.
Yeah.
For you, why accept the extra year? Why not, just sail off into the sunset? Won the SoCon, had
Yeah.
a great game against Kansas. Why one more?
I just love to play basketball, and I love Samford, and I love the coaches and the people. And, I was probably, NIL and the whole deal, was like, I was probably I would never have this chance again, right? To go to, be in a college, be around people your own age, just doing what you're doing, just hanging out, having a good time, playing basketball, and then have a chance to go do it all over again. And I'm a competitor, and why can't we go do it again, right? It's kind of, and when it got approved, it was when we were working on it, and it was it was a no brainer. I was going to try to go play professionally anyways, so why not just stay in the United States and play? Um, and so, and I just love, I love playing at Samford, and I love the coaching staff, and everything that they had done for me. Um, it was kind of just an easy decision.
So I mean, Bucky has said that you and Jermaine Marshall deserve statues outside
What?
and at Samford.
I did not
He
know
said you
that.
got, yeah, he did say that.
Maybe Jermaine, not me.
What pose would you put your statue in if you could pick?
Mm,
It'd be
maybe.
like the Shaq one where he's like hanging from the rim. Would
Where
you
you
do that?
dunk it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably pick somewhere where I was dunking because I've never dunked before. So,
Like Kobe on Dwight Howard one.
exactly. I'll probably just do one of me passing. Just a cool no
Solid.
look pass or something.
Mm.
Something smooth.
You wanna give them something they won't mess up, like
Exactly.
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
something simple.
Yeah. Very simple.
So I want to talk about, comparing last year's team to this year's team. Obviously, like we said, you were the only returning starter. What changed in your role from, those 8 guys that came back last year to, just the freshmen, like you said, this year? What changed for you?
Yeah, I had to be kind of the leader in the locker room about the press and all that stuff and helping them, and just having Bucky's back fully and helping them learn, the style of Bucky ball and how hard it's going to be and how hard you have to play. And because those guys were all there for me, when me and Garrett and Dallas came in. Now, Dallas had already been doing it for 5 years, so it didn't matter. But we have to be that. Me and Josh and Lucas and Riley had to be that for, the new guys coming in and just being there for them. And when they're complaining about, man, this is hard, this is tiring, it's like, hey, it's all worth it. Like, I promise you, it's going to help us win. Once you get to games, those practices in, September and October when we're going against each other for 2.5 hours, pressing the whole time. I mean, it gets hard. Conditioning, 7 a.m., 6 a.m. on Fridays. Like, it's all worth it. Like, this is all going to be worth it. And that was kind of my job probably mostly throughout the fall practices, just to get everybody ready and everybody bought in to, our style of play and, how it's all going to be worth it and can help us win, win a lot of games hopefully.
And I mean, how about the improvements that those freshmen have made, Lucas and Josh and Riley? How much have they stepped up as leaders and on the court?
For sure, they've gotten better in all aspects. They've all, stepped up on the court, and then, they've all grown and matured as, people off the court, and their work ethics and, how hard they've been practicing and, just, how smart they've got, IQ-wise, and just, the improvements that you hope, freshmen that played who are now sophomores, you hope they make those big jumps, and I feel like all 3 of them have, and, they're going to keep on getting better, and, hopefully the next year they're better, and then their senior year they're even better, right? I just love all 3 of them, and, they work so hard, and they're such great kids that I love to see them succeed.
Great kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're still 19,
Great kids.
Dang. All right, last question, Rylan. I don't know if you saw, I started the Rylan Jones Depoy candidacy a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
I need you to join in. I think it's possible. I need you to campaign for yourself, Joel Embiid style on Twitter.
You need him to lock
Joel
in.
Embiid style.
Joel Embiid style. Well, he don't even play, so at least I play.
What's that?
I said at least I play because Embiid doesn't even play.
Yeah.
That's what I want to
Never play
Celtics
back-to-back
here, that's what I want to hear.
We will
All for Embiid hate.
We will end on that high note of
Most people
Joel
Embiid hate.
Yeah, love that. Rylan, we appreciate you coming on.
Yep.
First guest ever on 2-Bit SoCon, so something
it.
you can take to the grave with you.
Yeah. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Good luck, man.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate you.